Amberlynn Reid was on YouTube for over a decade, and throughout that time, there has been so much drama with this woman. It is absolutely insane, just the level of controversies and drama and gossip there has been surrounding Amberlynn. And unfortunately for me, I didn't keep up with it while it was going on. Or maybe that is fortunate, because when I mentioned looking into Amberlynn, everybody said thoughts and prayers. And one person notably said, watching somebody get into girl world is like watching somebody walk backwards off a cliff. But still, I feel it's unfortunate for me because I have not been fully educated in the Amberverse. However, now that she's off the internet and demonetized and has deleted all of her videos, yes, she has deleted all of her videos off YouTube, I started paying attention. So I've been studying, and I think I am now equipped to tell you all a brief history of Amberlynn Reid and my loves. I've come prepared with a PowerPoint presentation. I have a Canva subscription and a dream, and this is what we're going to be doing today. We are going to look at Amberlynn Reid, a brief history. Before we move on with the rest, though, I want to tell you about Bellesa, who are sponsoring today's video. We are doing a massive toy giveaway, so stay tuned for that. Bellesa are a by women company for all things sexual wellness, and they're on a mission to empower everyone to explore and embrace their sexuality. All of their products are made from the highest quality, 100% body safe, premium materials. Plus, they have so many different products to choose from. Some of these products include the Pebble, the Thump Vibe, and the Flutter Vibe. The Pebble has vibration and suction controlled independently, and it is designed to fit perfectly in your hand. Plus, it has no annoying pattern modes. The Thump Vibe combines vibration and thumping in one toy. That is how the thumping looks and works, if you're curious. Plus, it has 5 thumping speeds and 5 vibration speeds, which you can control separately to find exactly what you love. And the Flutter Vibe simulates the experience of a tongue, but with added precision. And if you were wondering how that works, literally like that. That easy. And wonderfully, all of these products are waterproof and come in their own super discreet charging cases. So trust me, whatever you enjoy, Bellesa has a product for you. And this part here, this is very exciting. Right now, Bellesa and I are giving away free vibrators or gift cards to absolutely everyone who signs up to my giveaway. All you have to do is click the link in my description, enter your email, and then check your inbox to see what your gift is. That's it. Just click the link, enter your email, and you get a free toy or a gift card. Absolutely no reason not to try it out. So thank you so much to Bellesa for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on with the rest of it. When I tell you that this is a story with so many twists and turns, so many characters, so many arcs, so many plot lines and subplots, I mean it. This is absolutely fascinating. And like I said, there's over a decade of stuff here, and Amberlynn was vlogging pretty much every day, just her entire life. That mixed with the fact that she has a penchant for the dramatics and potentially a lot of lying. We'll get into it. But there's a lot to go over here. I truly mean that. So first we have, who is she? Literally, who is this? Amberlynn Reid, the woman, the myth, the legend. Amberlynn started as a weight loss channel in 2013. She had been overweight pretty much her whole life, and finally wanted to try and make a change. Later on in the history, the myth of her channel, she kind of moved from weight loss into doing just regular vlogs and also a lot of mukbangs, which kind of seems like the antithesis of trying to lose weight. But I digress. If you don't know what a mukbang is, somehow, like, they were very big on YouTube for a while. That is just when somebody sits on camera and eats a ton of food. Like, not just a regular amount of eating, like huge amounts of eating. There is some question as to whether this is content that's catering to a certain sort of person who perhaps likes that kind of content. Who knows? That's all speculation, but all we know is that she did do a lot of mukbangs up until the demise of her channel like a couple of weeks ago. And she still kept doing weight loss stuff the whole time, but it was kind of up for debate whether her channel continued to be a weight loss channel. Sometimes she would say it was, sometimes she would say it's not. I personally would say that it wasn't, because like she wasn't losing weight or trying to most of the time. But over the course of her channel, on the topic of her not losing weight, she did gain over 200 pounds from the start of her weight loss journey to the end. Gain, not lose. But I think the weight stuff is like the least interesting thing about Amberlynn. It is obviously where she comes from and what a lot of her channel is dedicated to, so we do have to talk about it, but there is so much more to go into besides the weight thing, and honestly, I just can't make myself care because this woman has documented everything, as you can see in my wonderful PowerPoint presentation, which I stayed up so late to make. I felt like I was cramming for like an assignment I was late to do, but like I was having so much fun with this, as you can tell. But this woman has documented everything in her whole life. Like I said, she vlogged pretty much every single day for over a decade, showing every single thing in her life. There was like no holds barred with this woman. She wanted to show us absolutely everything, but it all started with her very, very first video in 2013 when she introduces herself as a weight loss channel.
My name is Amberlynn and I wanted to start a YouTube channel for weight loss. I see a lot of videos of other people doing it and it's so motivating and it's just something I'm really, really interested in doing. I'm not even sure what to say. I guess this can be like a little introduction. So my name is Amberlynn. I'm 22 years old. It's Sunday right now, and today was nothing but eating horrible. I've been on a weight loss journey for a very, very long time now. Last time I weighed in was, I think about a week ago. I was at 368 or something like that. I'm probably a little higher now. I'll be weighing in tomorrow and I can make a video stating my weigh-in. My highest weight was 420, but that's my known weight, so it could be even higher than that. The lowest weight I ever remember being was when I was 11 years old. I weighed 290 pounds. During this current weight loss journey, I made it to 331. That was the lowest I did, and that was about a year ago. I don't know what happened. I've gained over 30 pounds since then. My motivation dwindles at the worst times, and I think making these YouTube videos, it might make me accountable.
So there you have it. That is her very first video that she ever posted. There was more to it, but we're not going to sit here and watch her entire first video because it's not particularly interesting, okay? This is a different era of YouTube, and it is somebody's first video, so, like, it's not gonna be great content. Don't worry, as we get forward, stuff gets more interesting. But at this time, she's trying to lose weight. It's her first video, and it is worth noting she does mention that she was bigger as a child as well, and she had a very rough upbringing. Her mother had been in prison. There was a lot of other things going on. So a lot of that and a lot of her difficulties growing up may have contributed to her unhealthy relationship with food. And she has said that herself. That's not me putting those words in her mouth for her. I shouldn't have said that because now I want to make a joke about like that she's more than capable of putting things in her mouth herself, but I should not say that because it's actually really mean, but my brain just like, listen, I've been watching a lot of Amberlynn Reid content, and people make a lot of those kind of jokes, and they're just in my head now. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it going forward. But yes, this may have contributed to that, and it may have contributed to some of her other very negative behaviors that we will see going forward that are unrelated to food. But I'm kind of jumping the gun here. But then we need to ask the big question. Why? Why does anybody care about Amberlynn Reid? Why is there a whole universe of people whose sole role on YouTube is to create content reacting to and analyzing Amberlynn Reid? Because yes, there is a whole network of people that's what they do. They talk about Amberlynn Reid, they watch her videos, they react to her videos, they talk about her dramas, they analyze things, they gossip, they speculate, all about Amberlynn. But if all she was a weight loss channel, then why? Why does anybody care? Now, I may have hinted at that already, but I feel like we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that, but let's give you a little hint of just scratching the surface of the things that people actually care about. Because, spoiler alert, a lot of the time it's not about weight. Sometimes it is, but we're going to ignore them.
Now we're gonna move on to Becky's mom. She got me this huge, like gigantic thing of makeup. This has 116 pieces and it obviously comes with a storage. So this is what is on the inside, and I'm so excited because I've really been wanting to experiment more with makeup, so now I'm gonna get to. So I've been needing a new makeup case because the one that I have now is like probably the cheapest thing I've ever owned. It's just like weebly wobbly and it just doesn't do the trick. So I got a new one. I like to keep all my makeup together. I used to not be like that. I used to keep like my go-to makeup all in one spot and my like non-go-to makeup all in another spot, but now I just keep it all together. I just am living my life and you guys get to see that through the vlogs. I live in probably one of the most boring places I've ever been in my life, but when you have a group of friends or whatever, like a group of family, you can make it fun. And if for us, board games are fun, and going to the movies is fun, and shopping at Walmart is fun, then that's what's fun to us, and that's kind of what we got. So we're gonna do that, and I'm just gonna keep you guys updated on the whole situation.
What?
What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Vlogging.
Whoa, Krystle, what are you doing out here?
Hanging out with me. And I feel like a lot of like environmental depression is a thing, kind of like situational depression. And I just want to surround myself with people who make me feel happy and who don't make me feel like crap. I feel like that's highly important. So I just want to focus more on positive things instead of negative and stuff like that. But I feel like I'm rambling. So
it was just buildup of Amber wanting to move out over time because she was not happy living there.
baby girl, what is it?
Oh my god.
Mama Bex, be back. You okay? Twinkie actually has really bad car anxiety. The vet said that it's very common for small dogs. So she gave us this anxiety treat and it works so good when she's in the car. We also got Twinkie with us. Thank you. She likes car rides now, which makes me happy because they used to give her anxiety, but my girlfriend's a good driver. I also have massive car anxiety, but when my girlfriend's driving, I will admit that like it lessens a lot. I didn't show any of the gifts because Krystle's dad is subscribed to me on here. I have seen him watch my videos in the past, so just in case.
There's one example for you, and
Amberlynn did not shower the whole time we were at my mom's. She did not like the bathtub. She refused to even try to get in. I think she was having a hard time getting her leg over it. Was the thing, because it's pretty high sides. And she just basically, you know, whore bathed. She just, you know, she washed her hair. I'd help her wash her hair over the shower. And she just kind of washed with washcloths and wore plenty of deodorant. That's what she did.
We went into Texas Roadhouse today, and when we went to go sit down, there was this girl. To me, it looked like she was maybe like 50 pounds bigger than me. I can't really say. I asked Destiny, like,
I have this like crazy thing where if I see someone that's like really morbidly obese like I am, I'll literally ask whoever, I'm like, hey, is that person bigger than me?
I don't know why I do it. I don't know if it's because I want to feel better about myself or I want to understand how other people visually see me. I really don't know what it is. To me, she looked like she was about 50 pounds bigger than I was. Either way, we were both like super huge in the restaurant, and she was also sitting at a table with her like chunky friend. I couldn't help but almost like judge this morbidly obese girl. Like, I am morbidly obese and I'm worried about other people judging me, but yet I am sitting there almost like judging this girl. Like, I was more so looking at her thinking, I'm so sad for her. Like, I'm sad that she's obese, and I noticed how other people stared at her, yet I never noticed how people stare at me. Do people look at me that way too and I just don't notice it? I felt like we were gonna draw attention because it's two really big girls. When the girl stood up to leave, I hadn't even gotten my food yet, and I couldn't stop staring at her. Like, all I could think about was like, I'm so sad for her. Like, why is she eating out? I almost wanted to grab her and just be like, eat healthy, lose weight. And I was almost mad at that girl for being there to make me feel these emotions, because these are emotions I need to be feeling for myself. If I could change anything, it would be like your priorities. What does that mean? I just feel like maybe your priorities are a little off. There are girls outside right now that are taking selfies in front of a rock wall. They're being— Are you seriously showing them? Stop! I'm very nervous.
Talk to you for a minute and tell you about how my day went. It's pretty late. What?
Or like, hold it close.
Like, baby. Let me hold it.
I feel like I want to start over anyway.
No, you don't need to. Are you actually gonna wear that?
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, she says.
Do you need to make it a little bit bigger?
I don't know.
Baby, you just gotta lose a little bit of weight. I know you can do it.
You're done. You're done.
Oh, that's my favorite kind of food, Charla. The stuff you have in the freezer.
Oh, yeah. Look at that big old. Can you see anything?
I can.
I would go back down. Becky stole your mashed potatoes.
I think about the mashed potatoes. Ricky is amazing cook.
Sorry, I'm
So
kind
are you. It's just you cook things I don't really like.
yeah, healthy.
Anything that was a fucking icy, which I bought every single person there a fucking icy. And that was on me because I wanted to. Like, why wouldn't I want to do that? That includes Rafe. And Rafe was a little behind. So when she comes up and she saw all of us eating icy, she literally looked at me, y'all. Because this bitch didn't even have a penny. She didn't even have a freaking penny. She looked at me and she goes, what about me? Even Becky looked at me and Becky was kind of like, that was weird.
So these clips are, like I said, just like scratching the surface of the whole Amberverse, right? These are actually some super tame clips, to be honest, and they don't even go into all of the more serious stuff like her raging and things like that, but those need more context than I can give you in just little clips. So that is just like a taster, a teaser of what's to come. But overall, people have a lot to say about Amberlynn. Over the course of her YouTube career, people have dubbed her as being narcissistic, as being aggressive, passive aggressive, of being condescending to her fans, being rude to the people around her, being ungrateful, being very angry, lying a lot, something which she admits to doing herself. There's just a lot of stuff about Amberlynn. And people have kind of found a lot of patterns in her behavior. And if you see here, this is one of the main things that comes up when you talk about Amberlynn Reid, and this is her cycle, Amberlynn's YouTube content cycle of futility. I have no idea who made this. It's everywhere. I cannot find the first instance of this. Even when you like search, because I just Googled Amberlynn full timeline. Doesn't exist, by the way. But I went on Google Images and this is just like all over the place. So we have step 1 of her YouTube content cycle of futility. She starts a new weight loss plan. She is buying things. She's doing constant weigh-ins, and the buying things is buying things to do with her weight loss because she's going all in with this. She's like really excited, really pumped she's gonna do this. She acts as if she is a weight loss channel. She's exercising, meal prepping, exercising, cooking, shopping on YouTube. Then we get to stage 2, which is ignorance, where she kind of steps a little bit away from the weight loss channel content. She'll do other stuff, clickbait titles, talk about, her girlfriend at the time, whoever that happens to be. Doesn't mention her weight loss, just kind of pretends that the whole weight loss thing wasn't happening a second ago. Then we get to stage 3, indignation, when she just goes full force into binge eating junk food, doing mukbangs, doing stuff like addressing the haters or addressing hate comments, just like finally talks about the fact that she's abandoned her weight loss goals. And this will normally come down to something like she's decided that whatever way she was trying to lose weight doesn't work for her. And that is something that comes back a lot, is she seems to think that that any method of losing weight that anybody has ever done just simply does not work for her. I've heard people refer to it as terminally unique. That is so hard to say. Terminal uniqueness. There we go. And that just like whatever's gonna work for people doesn't work for her. And like I get it. Like it's hard to lose weight. I've never been obese, right? I've absolutely never been obese, so I do not know how hard it is to lose weight when you're at that stage and if you have binge eating issues, but I'm sure like it feels like the stuff isn't working for you. Even for me, like right now I'm not obese. I'm not like hugely overweight, but I've gained loads of weight recently, like really fast. And my clothes don't fit and stuff like that. So I want to lose weight, but in my head, I keep coming up with reasons why it's not working. I'm like, oh, it just doesn't work for me. My metabolism is just screwed because I had problems with food for years, or it's just the medication I'm on. It's everything's fault but the fact that I don't exercise enough. you know? And I get it, and I really do believe it at the time, so I don't know. But then we get to stage 4, manipulation. She's crying. She says, I can't do this. Everything's too hard. Misleading title suggesting accountability, but actually takes no accountability. And comes up with excuses and stuff like that. Now, I brought this up because this is the big thing that people talk about with Amberlynn. It's her content futility, right? It's just going round and round and round and round when she's meant to be a weight loss channel. However, I have found that iNabber has come up with what I believe to be a much better cycle, albeit a much uglier cycle. I'm sorry, iNabber, this is hideous. Why is there yellow text on a light grey background? I can barely read that. Listen, he's not a graphic designer, right? Maybe it's supposed to be ugly on purpose. I don't claim for this PowerPoint presentation to be pretty, but I think his is better because it shows that she still has a cyclical nature of going about her content and the way she presents herself online, but his version isn't focused on the weight loss thing, even though it is there. So we have step 1 of the Amberlynn Reid cycle according to iNabber, which is so hard to read, so I gotta like hold my eyes like this so I can see it. Amberlynn reveals random pieces of private information, right? So this is when she starts talking about something private in her personal life, and a lot of the time this will be something that is controversial in a way. The next step is then her community starts speaking about it because, like I said, there is a whole community of people who are dedicated to talking about Amberlynn Reid. But besides that, when she reveals this private information that is often controversial, her fans who are supporting her will also talk about this and, you know, criticize her and whatnot, which brings us to the next step where people do some digging. They find more information about this thing that Amberlynn is talking about, and then they criticize her for it. The next step is Amberlynn makes a video crying. Pretty self-explanatory. Then the community gets more mad at her because she is refusing to acknowledge the actual concerns. She is downplaying things or lying or blaming her audience or whatever the case may be. Then we get to Amberlynn uploads a weight loss / gain related video to move everyone on. Basically, she wants to move on from whatever this drama is. And then that will then lead to her revealing more private information, and it goes around and around and around again. So whatever angle you take to look at Amberlynn Reid and her content and her whole online presence, it is all very cyclical. There is always a cycle that is at play. But now that we have kind of information on who she is, how she started, and the cycle and why people talk about her, we now need to get into the actual timeline of Amberlynn Reid and her history of drama and controversy and just basically where she's been on YouTube. Now, the way that I'm going to break this down is pretty much the way that other people tend to break this down. From what I've seen online, everybody talks about her in stages of eras, and these eras are broken up into who she's dating at the time. Excuse me, my voice keeps breaking. I don't know what's happening here. Dear God. So these eras are named after and broken up into whoever her girlfriend is at the time, because one thing about Amberlynn is that she's always in a relationship. She is never not in a relationship. There's definitely something you could glean from that, but we're not gonna go there yet. But she's always in a relationship. She always has a girlfriend, and that always comes with new shifts in her life, big shifts in where she's living, what she's doing, her lifestyle, and it comes with its own dramas. So first of all, we have the Krystle era. That there is Krystle, her girlfriend, between the years of 2013 to 2015. So let's have a quick look at Krystle.
This isn't how she really is in person. I'll get her like when she doesn't notice, and you guys will really see how she is. Anyhow, so here we go. Ready? See, here's the little thingy I'm looking at. Have you ever been to a strip club? If you did, what was it like? You don't.
So Amberlynn lived with Krystle and Krystle's parents, and this is where she was living when she started her channel in 2013. And this was because it seems like Krystle's parents were supporting Amberlynn to lose weight and to be healthier. And Amberlynn herself said that Krystle's parents were really encouraging her. And like we mentioned before, Amberlynn had had like a really rough upbringing, so it's possible she didn't have quite that same level of support beforehand. But it's also alleged, even though it seems like Amberlynn said this herself, but we have to say alleged because it's also contested, that her parents, Krystle's parents, were not only supporting Amberlynn emotionally, but also financially, because at this time, Amberlynn didn't have a job. And at some point, she allegedly said that Krystle's parents were giving her money and allowance and funding her lifestyle, basically, and, you know, paying for her food, and she was living there rent free. I mean, pretty chill people to allow that. But as we'll see, Amberlynn maybe isn't great. She kind of would cause problems and complain. However, at this time, there isn't actually a lot of information we can glean drama wise. There is a lot of information in general because this is when we first learn about Amberlynn, who she is. We see glimpses of her, but drama wise and relationship wise, Krystle did not like to be filmed. As you saw in that previous clip, Amberlynn would still shove a camera in her face anyway, so that is a little bit controversial. But she didn't like being filmed most of the time, so she wouldn't be in the vlogs. And at this time, I feel like Amberlynn really was more focused on weight loss and positivity and just general vlogging, really. But I feel like this era is more introductory than it is a full-blown case of mess like the other eras. But during this era, we could see a lot of who Amberlynn was as time went on and she's vlogging every single day. People started to see her as being ungrateful, particularly towards Krystle's parents, who were, again, allegedly funding her and helping her out and giving her a place to live. She was also seen as being really rude, and she could be quite passive aggressive despite how nice these people were being to her, and despite the fact that Krystle was her girlfriend, be nice to your girlfriend, right? And then I wrote, etc. You get the point. People had a lot of negative things to say about her, but it wasn't quite full blown yet. But still, there were some concerns.
So Krystle texted her parents, you know, kind of just letting them know I love you, stuff like that, you know. And Krystle's dad said he loved me too. So I thought it was sweet. And I've told him before, you know how people get upset with each other and they're in like humongous arguments? Let me take a pause. Let me stop for a second. You know how when people are like in an argument and they're like, blah, 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 I hate you. You know, it's happened with me. That's how I get sometimes. And I have argued with Krystle's parents before. I'm not gonna lie, it has happened. But in the midst of those arguments and at the end of those arguments, I break down and I cry and I tell Krystle's dad that he's like, you know, a father to me. So sorry, now I'm getting emotional again. And he's never said that before, so yeah, anyways.
This is also
I don't know why I didn't cut out that little bit of the clip there at the end. Ignore that, everybody. Ignore the man behind the curtain. But yeah, basically, like, you're living with these people rent-free. They're supporting you in your weight loss. They're being super kind to you. They're allegedly giving you money to live while you don't have a job, and you're fighting with them and telling them you hate them. And it's just very not okay behavior. And like, there is an argument to be made that this is her first time maybe living away from family and she hasn't been brought up well and she doesn't really know how to behave because she's had a rough time. But that excuse can only get you so far. At this stage, she is an adult, right? Like, she needs to take responsibility for herself. And also, she never really stops this behavior. That's kind of the problem with Amberlynn, is she never stops her negative behaviors. She never gets better. She never learns from her mistakes or tries to improve herself in any real meaningful way. And I think that's one of the big reasons why she is such a hot topic. Because if she had done stuff like this in her early days, right, but then she learned, maybe she'd still make a mistake here or there, do something bad here or there, but then, you know, she learned, she actually got better. I don't think it would have blown up this much. You wouldn't have so many channels talking about her. You wouldn't have her be such a big topic of conversation. But Amberlynn never really does that. If anything, she just gets worse. Or potentially the mask just comes off even more. Maybe we'll never know which it is. But anyway, back to the Krystle era. At the end of, actually, they broke up in 2015. As you may have guessed from the fact that I said that the Krystle era lasted from 2013 to 2015, I feel that that is quite a big giveaway to that. But they broke up in 2015. However, Amberlynn continued to live with Krystle and her parents afterwards, which is a little bit weird, but you know, she didn't have a job, financial issues, like they were probably all just being nice. What makes this a little bit weirder, though, is the fact that Amberlynn and Krystle would still cuddle, and they would still share a bed, and they would still stuff like that, and was possibly still being financially supported by Krystle's parents after they had broken up. So I find that to be a little bit strange. It's not an ideal kind of situation, especially the sharing the bed. And as you will see, this also becomes a common thing. But after the Krystle era ended, there wasn't really much time until we got to the next era, which is the Destiny era. And this is beginning from 2015, pretty much straight after they broke up, Krystle and Amberlynn.
Okay, so I'm on my way to work, but I have a short day today. Huh?
We're all wearing pink.
Oh, we're all wearing pink. Pink. And pink because the Twinkie's coming with us.
Japan. We don't do that. It's just $8 fee. You come back. If you ever read it from us.
Baby.
What?
What are you doing?
Watching pancake videos.
Pancake? Like how to make pancakes or what?
Like character ones, like this guy who makes ones like character ones.
Hey.
Are you gonna go to your work?
Bae.
Hi. I got kitties all over me.
Oh yeah, your shirt.
Kitty cat.
Kitty cats. Spread them legs. This always happens. The sheet comes off. Okay, don't we have those sheet things where
Yeah,
like,
but I've been putting them on.
okay.
Play dead. Play dead.
So that is Destiny and Amberlynn, and Destiny is everyone's favorite girlfriend, seemingly. From a lot of what I've seen, a lot of people say that she's their favorite, and you can see compilations like that online where they're like, the golden era of Amberlynn Reid is with Destiny. Now, I personally have no great love for Destiny. I've no hatred either, but I have no great love for her. But there you go. So Amberlynn moved in with Destiny pretty much immediately after Krystle. Right, obviously there was a little bit of time where Amberlynn was still living with Krystle, but they weren't together anymore. But Amberlynn never lived on her own in between that. She moved straight in with Krystle in Florida. And people say that this is where the lore really begins. This is where the drama starts. This is where everything stems from, is the Destiny era. Because like I said, the Krystle era is a little bit more introductory. We do get to see a bit of who Amberlynn is, but it's not quite as up and down and everything as this era is. So first things first is that Destiny actually got Amberlynn a job, which is great. It's good to be working. This was a job at a nursing facility where Destiny was also working. Obviously other people were working there too. But Although this would seem like a good thing, and I mean, it is a good thing for her to have some independence, I guess, and have a real job and make money and, you know, not have to rely on somebody else for her money, she kind of just spent her time vlogging. Like, she would go into work, vlog the whole time, and would potentially break a lot of rules. Like, she would be filming her, not employees, her she would be filming her colleagues even though they didn't want to be filmed. She would be ignoring the patients living at the facility because she's busy vlogging. She would also sometimes film the patients, that feels like a big no-no to me. So it was just kind of like a whole mess of like, she just wasn't really working. She was just kind of there and using it as a set for her vlogs.
Not expectant at all. As you guys know, I had a job interview. This was like over a week ago, and they never called me back, and I was expecting like them just not to call me. I thought maybe they didn't like me and they just acted like they did when I was there because they wanted to be nice, and they were very nice people.
That is not my edit.
I'm actually in a resident's room. They're showering in this door. I have time to just say hello real quick.
Playing piano while you're on night shift is such a choice. At a nursing facility. I'd deck them, to be honest.
Alright, goodbye. Have a good one. Ow! Ow, you just broke my back. Why are you flopping like a bird? She needs help. She has issues. Issues. That really did hurt. Someone's coming. Hold on a minute.
Whoever comes by tonight, I'm gonna fix my fan. I don't know how.
Okay.
Okay. Somebody done it. I don't know how they done it.
Okay.
It can be fixed, but they ain't got the 72 like I like them.
Okay.
We'll get it fixed.
Good, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. Both of you.
Thank you.
I think you will.
Yeah.
We will.
Tired on your feet.
Oh yeah, my feet are definitely tired. Good night. Someone commented and was like, damn, she hot. Can I have her number?
Well,
what would you do?
That won't happen. No. Look at how little she is.
She is little.
I where to do that. Here, you can do the towels. Here. Lulu can't come in.
Okay, so there's a tornado warning and we're at work right now. I get off in an hour, so I gotta go bust my ass real quick. Mama, what you doing?
Same thing except
You can't walk very fast? You want to go sit in one of those chairs? I gotta wipe down the tables and stuff since y'all just ate.
Can't help you walk because I
don't need
got
help.
vlogging
I
to
got
do.
it. Love you, Moo.
Tell me what you want me to do.
Just go sit over there. Oh, did you guys notice that I
Sit down
have
so I can
instead of a
vlog. Oh,
hoop,
my
I
nose
put
ring.
a little. Did you notice that? Actually, let's get real. Yeah, I used to always just have a little thingy like that, but the only reason why I have it now is because I have makeup on my nose. But I kind of prefer it. What do you think? You don't know. You like this one better? Why, thanks.
Card out, Mimi. You can't
Oh.
be in here.
Destiny.
I'm not gonna eat in here. You can't be in here. You can't be in here, Moo.
Momo, this is the office, okay?
It's for employees.
You told her to sit down. You told her to sit down. I hate every single one of those clips so much. It's so disrespectful, the fact that she cannot just get up from vlogging to help this woman. Like, you're supposed to be doing your job. You're not supposed to be vlogging. That's not what they're paying you for. And also, something really important that I have to say about this personally is that sometimes I lift weights, right? I need to do it more regularly for one reason and one reason only. And that is because I want to be a really strong old person, so that if when I'm old, some 20-something-year-old talks to me in a baby voice, I can punch them and it'll hurt. Because that is something I can't stand. Why are you talking to old people like they're like toddlers or animals? Why are we doing that? It's so weird. I hate it every single time. But I think the main thing about this is that it really shows you where Amberlynn's priorities are, because when she's supposed to be doing this job, when she's supposed to be making money, and when she's supposed to be taking care of vulnerable people, she's busy vlogging. She's busy annoying her coworkers. She's busy doing anything else but actually doing her job, and actually doing things like playing the piano late at night when people are supposed to be sleeping. She's filming the residents. She's letting them be heard on camera. Just stuff that is simply not okay. And a lot of people obviously have an issue with this, and a lot of people think this really shows who Amberlynn truly is. And I think this is where a lot of the accusations of her being very narcissistic come from, because she's only concerned with herself and her vlogs. And this is just, it just really is a lot of what you're going to see from her going forward, just in different fonts, in different situations. But as always, her vlogs, her thing. She doesn't want to like deal with your stuff. Everything's about what she wants to do in that moment. And it's just sad. It's just sad. I don't like it at all. It's disappointing. And like I said, if she had just gotten better, if she had just made improvements to who she was or the way that she behaved, it wouldn't be such an issue. But she doesn't. So it is. Another very notable thing about this job, though, is that later on, she admits to lying about being full-time. She had originally said that she was working full-time with Destiny at this place, but later on, she posted a video that was titled something along the lines of "confessing to everything I've lied about" with a sad face. And in that, she said, I was actually working part-time, along with a lot of other lies. And this is also a common theme that you're going to see going forward, is Amberlynn lying constantly. And sometimes she'll admit to the lies and say, but I'm not going to lie anymore. And then later she'll admit to lying again. There's a lot of lying that happens with Amberlynn. It's just like negative trait stacked on top of negative trait on top of negative trait, until you just have so many negative traits that it just takes up her entire form. It's like she's only cares about herself, plus she lies about everything, plus this, plus that. It's too much, guys. It's too much. But moving on from the job anyway, continuing with the Destiny era, one very, very notable and very important central point that happened during this time is that this is when Amberlynn first started making mukbang videos. Now, like I said already, mukbang videos are in and of themselves controversial, because it's somebody sitting there eating like thousands upon thousands of calories. It's not healthy. Plus, people consider it to potentially be like fetish content, right? Depends. Some people do it and they outwardly say that's what they're doing. Other people do it and they don't say that's what they're doing. Maybe some people do it and they don't realize, right? Very possible. But for somebody like Amberlynn, who made her channel trying to lose weight to then do mukbangs, it's very, very strange. And it left a lot of people questioning her, especially with the fact that she would later say that mukbangs aren't stopping her from losing weight and they're not problematic for her, and you know, that they're fine for her to do for whatever reason. She says they help keep her accountable of how much she's eating and this and that and the other, right? She kept making excuses for it being fine, but it's obviously not fine. And you also have to question like why she's doing it. I'll answer that really simply. I'll answer it very simply, right? Because this is her very first mukbang video on her channel. And this did really well. And anytime she did mukbang content, it would do fantastically well. And that, in my opinion, is why she did it, because she was making a ton of money off doing mukbang videos. And instead of having to vlog all day and edit the clips together, she could just sit down, eat some food, yap for 20 minutes, and upload that and get more views and more money. That's just my opinion, okay? Then we have some other notable moments from the Destiny era. One is the pets, okay? I'm not going into the pets. Anybody who knows this story knows what I'm talking about. I'm not going into the pets. I'm just going to tell you there's nothing too serious here, right? Don't worry. There was no like bodily harm. There was no anything like that. But there were accusations that they were not treating their pets correctly. There was a cat that went missing. Her dog was obese. It was a lot of stuff. There was the way they handled the pets and stuff. It's just not great. And I know I talk about a lot of serious stuff on this channel. Like, obviously I talk about like the worst possible people, but I can't with the pet stuff. I can't with animal stuff. I just can't do it. It makes me too sad. It makes me too upset. So we're not going to. But like I said, just don't worry. There's nothing too sinister here, but it also really pisses me off. Ooh. Anyway, so we're going to move on from that swiftly. There's so much content, by the way, about Amberlynn's pets. So if that's something you want to dig into on your own time, you can find so much about anything here, right? You can find hour-long deep dives on any single topic to do with Amberlynn. This is something that you could spend your whole life watching videos about, to be perfectly honest with you. But next notable moment anyway, moving swiftly on from that, is Damon White. Who is that, you may ask? Well, he doesn't exist. Damon White was her fake account on Facebook that she would use to go in these groups that were dedicated to talking about her. And she would post in those like defending herself or talking shit about herself. It was just her fake account, right? That's all that is. I just think it's really weird. It's very strange. We'll move on. We also have shopping addiction and hoarding. So at this time, she had a job, she had money, and also her YouTube was starting to take off. She was making money from that. Eventually, she did quit the job at the nursing facility because she was making so much money from YouTube. And during this time, you can see how much Amberlynn was shopping. She was constantly buying stuff that she didn't need. She was buying like earrings or hair stuff or whatever constantly. Journals was a big one as well. She loves to journal. Big into her journaling. So she was doing a lot of shopping. She had money. People say maybe hoarding. I don't know that it's hoarding, but it's definitely buying too many things. Overconsumption of products. Right? Capitalism, final boss, or whatever you want to call it. There was just a lot. And there's also one story that gets brought up a lot of one Christmas when Destiny and Amberlynn were together. Oh my god, it's so bad. Like, Amberlynn just bought her so much stuff, which, like, great, but it literally, I'm not joking, it filled the entire room. It filled the entire room of all the presents that she'd gotten her. And it's like, wow, you really need to tone it down with the consumption, with the spending. Spoiler alert, she like probably should have saved some of her money. We'll get there. We're not there yet. Anyway, other notable moment is the Walmart scooters. This one annoys me so much. Okay, right. Let me explain. So Walmart in America, it has these mobility scooter things. I don't know if it's in every single Walmart, but I do know that they have them. They're for people who have mobility issues for whatever reason. They can get on these little scooters and they can go around the Walmart and get their shopping, right? Great. We love accessibility. The problem is Amberlynn and Destiny would always use these scooters in Walmart, and because she's vlogging constantly, we see this all the time. It would be fine if they were just using them, but they would just dump them in the middle of the shop and not bother to put them back so that they weren't accessible to people who needed them for accessibility issues. And it just, again, it's just these little things that really show you how inconsiderate of a person she really is and how much she only really thinks about herself. And honestly, Destiny too, to be perfectly honest with you.
What are you doing? That's called a long day at work. We're driving one of these. Wait, I'm gonna go this way. You wanna know the funniest thing? At this Walmart, everybody and their mother uses this thing. Like everybody. We see like skinny people, young people, old people, purple people, yellow people, carrot people. I just saw carrots, so I said that. Like everybody. I think it's because they have so many. Literally, they have 50. I've never seen a Walmart like this before. So we've had a long day. I'm wearing the wrong shoes, and my feet hurt, and so do hers. So this is what I am getting, though. Yes, I'm sitting in one of these because my foot hurts really bad, but I still like get up and try to walk and stuff. So Camino, or whatever you guys want to call such a thing. What is it called? Yeah, Camino. Yeah, Camino. Yeah.
A classic.
And yes, I'm sitting in a little cart, like I always do. What? I can't hear her. She's over there. See, she's sitting on one too, because literally we're here at 2 a.m. Like, yeah. I feel stupid doing it, but I really do it because of my heel spur, and I've had a really long day, and I'm wearing the totally wrong shoes, and it hurts really bad. We should not discriminate against who uses these versus who don't, because that's kind of messed up. So we always go to self-checkout because it's bae.
So, like, at the end of the day, I do not care if she's using a mobility scooter. Like, use it if you need it. Who gives a crap? I don't care. Some people do care. People are like, oh, she's making excuses. She can walk fine. I truly don't care. And she is big, right? Like, let's not beat around the bush here. She is big. It's probably very difficult to walk around when you're that big. None of my business. When I start caring, though, is when you dump it in the middle of the shop, don't put it back, and then somebody who needs it can't use it. So it's these small things where you could be more considerate. Anyway, I wanted to pause because I was drinking my kombucha while I was watching that, and somebody asked me the other day why I don't drink it from the can, and this reminded me why. This reminded me to say it, and I'll tell you why. Because I will never drink from a can if I can avoid it, because it's gross. Right? I know I'm probably taking the germ thing too far, but people like this, right? There's other compilations of them like going around and just touching everything in the shop. There's no way that the bit of this can that you put your mouth on comes out of the shop clean. I just absolutely do not believe it. So yes, I will pour it in a glass. And also, once again, reminder, I just like the taste, okay? I don't think it has magical health benefits or anything like that. Sadly, though, for these two lovebirds, they broke up at the beginning of 2017. But once again, Amberlynn continued to live with Destiny after they broke up. And once again, they were sharing a bed together. It's just a bit weird. Just a bit weird, isn't it? Like, you can still be friends, but sharing a bed feels a little bit far for an ex. But, you know, we listen and we don't judge, except I think I do. I think I do judge. But after this, I think about a month later, Destiny began dating a colleague called Dana. And hold on, I need to pick up JavaScript because she meowed for me to pick her up, and then I picked her up, and then she jumped down, and now she's meowing for me to pick her up again. So let me do that. This is the world's most dramatic cat. Don't touch the microphone, baby. Hi, do you want to just sit? Do you want to just sit? What do you want? I don't know what she wants. She doesn't know what she wants. She wants a cuddle. She wants pets. She wants on my shoulder. But she also wants none of these things. Typical cat behavior. Did you get yourself comfy, my love? Oh, you got yourself comfy. Okay, she's comfy there. We can continue. Anyway, yes, Destiny began dating a colleague called Dana, and the three of them would hang out, which a lot of people say is weird, but like, guys, these are lesbians. Like, this is just how this works. I mean, I wouldn't really know. I've been in the same relationship for like 10 years. But I know that is how it works. Couldn't be me, but it is a lot of them. And it was the three of them, but later it would be the four of them when Destiny and Dana would hang out with Amberlynn and her new girlfriend, who we'll talk about in a moment. So that was the end of their relationship. But years later, pretty recently, and I say recently as in like 3 years ago, Destiny came out to tell her side of the story of what happened in her relationship with Amberlynn, and it's safe to say that it was not great. She had a lot of very negative things to say about her, and I just realized the cat distracted me and I didn't have the slide up. I'm sorry, I went so far to prepare this PowerPoint presentation, I didn't even show you guys the slides, but in fairness, cat priority. Anyway, so here's a video compiling the 2 parts of, oh my god, 2016? Why did I think it was 2023? Oh no, it happened in 2016. Sorry, cat taking brain power. I'm gonna blame the cat for absolutely everything now. So let's just have a watch at what she had to say about her relationship.
Amberlynn did have a very bad attitude, just in general. Just with anything, like if she wasn't kind of getting her way, if it just wasn't going the way she wanted to do it. Like, this was as long as I've known her, not just when we were together, and even after. So this is also around the time our boss got a letter from a subscriber about about Amberlynn vlogging at work. She really did laugh. She thought it was hilarious. She didn't know that we had been doing YouTube or that Amberlynn had been doing it. And it cracked her up. She just said sometimes people have nothing better to do with their life and probably just wanted to see the reaction out of it. So this is also around the time that some subscribers started getting kind of creepy, started trying to figure out like exactly where we lived, stuff like that. She started talking about her mukbangs. I don't know if I'm saying that word right. I don't know. It's said so many different ways. So I guess we read you guys the email from the subscriber that was sent to our boss. Let's see. Amberlynn had talked about her younger brother, about when she saved him when he was getting choked. That really did happen. I don't know if there was like a conspiracy on that, but that did happen.
Basically, this is like Destiny has a whole list of things that people have had questions about, that have wondered about, and she is just kind of spilling everything. So like it's a lot of stuff, and that's why she's like reading through this list.
Amberlynn really did go to college when she lived in Arizona. I'm not going to get too much into detail with it, but she did have student loans. When she started working with me, about 2 or 3 months after she started working, they started to garnish her wages for it. So she ended up calling them and setting up a payment plan with them. I think this is what Amberlynn had talked about. I think someone asked her about who she would want to propose, like if she wanted to or if I wanted to, and she was saying hopefully I don't want to. I never proposed to her because we literally fought so much, and I wasn't sure if we would ever truly be happy together. Like, because there was just so much fighting and tension, obviously off camera. We have good times, but the bad times were starting to outweigh the good times. I said I swear we went to Walmart more, or we spent more time at Walmart than we spent at home. This is also when she started making her soup chili, everything upon goulash stuff. I did not ever really try these. That was gross. Amberlynn talked about being nervous about living with my mom because she liked living on her own, didn't want to be under someone else's rules, wanted to do what she wanted to do. That comes with it.
At one point, they moved from Florida to Kentucky. She had said it was to live with Destiny's mum and to help her out, but it turned out like she later admitted that wasn't why. They just wanted to move. So I don't know why she even lied about that.
At one point. And then another thing with being at my mom's, my mom had it wasn't a clawfoot bathtub, but it wasn't like a normal bathtub. I don't know how to explain. You see it in the videos a lot. Amberlynn did not shower the whole time we were at my mom's. She did not like the bathtub. She refused to even try to get it. I think she was having hard getting her leg over it. It was the thing. It's pretty high sides. And she just basically, whore bathed. She just, she washed her hair. I'd help her wash her hair over the shower. And she just kind of washed with washcloths and wore plenty of deodorant. That's what she did. This is also around the time my mom and Amberlynn started getting into a lot of spats about stuff. They started arguing quite a bit. Amberlynn's she's very set in her way or no way kind of deal. I don't know. That's just she doesn't care, like, if she disrespects you, basically. Like, she really just does not care to have respect. Like, we were at my mom's house living with her, and she still was, like, I don't know, if it had been the other way around, I was not going to argue with her mom, like, it was like respecting your elders kind of. Even though you're not a child, you should still respect your elders. And my mom was also very stubborn and very argumentative as well,
So this is the similar issue that, please go away, stupid bar. The same issue that was happening back during the Krystle era is that Amberlynn was living with Krystle's parents, but would argue with them and fight with them. And it's not really acceptable behavior. It's not even just about respecting your elders. It's just about respecting people, especially people whose roof you're living under.
It was a lot. When she started doing the mukbangs, when my mom was around, my mom really just didn't understand it. And I think they got in spats about it sometimes. So I think that's why she ended up only doing it basically when she was home alone, or if it was just being her or whatever. She says at some point that we were going to take the cats to the vet, and that we take Wasabi to the vet. I never took these cats to the vet. Wasabi came with his shots, and with Jax, I think once he was with me and Dana, I went to the feed store and got his shots and just did them myself. Because you can do that. You can still do that, I'm pretty sure. You can get your shots.
What do you mean? Okay, I'm not a vet. I don't know if this is a safe thing that people can do. I guess it is, but I wouldn't advise. There's like whole anatomies and stuff you need to know. I just feel like that's a bad idea. I wouldn't be doing that.
At Tractor Supply, if you need to. We did end up taking them to the vet. It was after me and her broke up, because I remember me and Dana were together when we did it. So the whole time we were together, we did not go to the vet. I know she said that we did, and I didn't realize she was telling people that. So you guys kept saying that she had diabetic sores. I don't know, they were mosquito bites. I have scars all over my legs from mosquito bites. Amberlynn didn't want to get a real job. She only wanted to do YouTube. I don't know,
we know that one.
A lot, and then she really ended up liking the job that we were going to have, so she ended up taking it, obviously. You also see her vlogging in the car a lot without me being in there. It's because we would go to, it didn't matter if it was Walmart, whatever store we were at. And when we were done shopping and we decided to leave, it was me at the checkout with everything and her going to the car and sitting and waiting. That's just how it was. So that is January to June. And then I also noticed that she showed my butt crack a lot. I don't know why it is, but I have a long butt crack. I try to keep it maintained, but sometimes it's out. And I try my best to keep it covered up, but you know, it happens. But she didn't have no reason to be posting my butt crack on YouTube. As far as I know, because it really starts talking about her childhood a lot right here. As far as I know, I don't know if she lied about anything that happened in her childhood. I don't know why she would lie about that kind of stuff, but I mean, you don't know. And then I feel like that's a lot of her problems. You know, like my mom tells her this at one point. She's like, you focus too much on the past. You blame the past for everything that's happening to you now, and you're not moving on from it. I feel like that's still a big part of what's going on with her now. Like she's still focused on what all has happened in the past, and she's not moving forward. And I mean, hopefully she stops moving forward. We were starting to get really excited about our job. It was contracted with the government. It started at like I think $15.25 or something like that an hour, and it was really just data entry, but it was for the VA. We literally just were on a computer all day naming documents for the VA. And it was a really nice job. I mean, it was freaking easy, but everyone that worked there for long enough, they worked you to death was what it was. And as easy as the job was, you were just working constantly, day in and day out. And I feel like that's why so many people end up getting fired from there or quitting. It is what it is. I was there for almost 2 years. Or yeah, like a year and a half. Talking about Walmart again. I swear she was just addicted to Walmart. I don't understand what it is. I don't think that she goes to Walmart like that anymore. I feel like when she moved to Lexington, I feel like she was just ready to go anywhere. I think mostly Target. But I just can't stand to go to Walmart half the time now. I would rather, like I said before in the video, just get my groceries delivered, or I go to the Walmart neighborhood market when I need groceries. Like, I try not to go to Walmart very often. It's just a lot of work and a lot of people and overwhelming. We had gone to Goodwill and I got some random stuff. I got a K-cup holder that spun around. Just remember the K-cup holder, because that'll come back in a couple weeks from this point. And then this is where it kind of goes blank for a little while, like in the videos. Like she states that it's because she changes as a person. This is also when we're saying that we're moving out. Like, it's like, we're starting work and then boom, the next video is like, we're moving out, we're still here, you know, this, that, and the other. We got very behind on vlogs, and like I said, she deleted the ones that she had filmed around this time. I don't know why she did that, I don't know what it was. But this is when a lot of drama happened between her and my mom. Now, when I said that they were got the spats a lot before, I'm meaning like, it could have been just anything. It was just little stuff a lot of the time. Or, you know, I don't know, it was just random stuff. I can't really pinpoint a lot of what it was, but it would be something small, and between my mom being argumentative and Amberlynn being argumentative, it would become a thing. But, I want to say like a week or two
very
we were trying to
toxic.
job, so we weren't like working our actual hours that we'd be working. I think we were working like 3 to 11. I think it's like the second week, honestly. We were sitting at the kitchen table getting ready to leave for work, like packing my lunch, whatever, just sitting at the kitchen talking. And I think I asked Amberlynn how she likes the job so far, and how, you know, easy it is and all that. And she starts saying that she likes it, that it is easy, but she wanted to focus more on YouTube. And she was like, by the time training's over, I decided I don't want to do it. I just won't start the actual job. And I don't know what came over my mom after this, but my mom came in there and started just saying, you know, like, she said something along the lines of, you don't need to stay at home all day in YouTube. It's not gonna be good for you trying to lose weight. And I guess Amberlynn got offended about, you know, weight loss and all that. It's a never ending thing with her on that. And Amberlynn started saying that she likes the job, but she likes YouTube better. And then she was debating on stopping, and I don't know, her and my mom started arguing back and forth, and my mom ended up getting physical with Amberlynn. That's where the K-cup holder comes back. I think they're kind of slapping around at each other, and my mom, that K-cup holder was downstairs for us to take upstairs or whatever. My mom came back with it and hit her over the head with it. It was very traumatizing for me, honestly. It was. I was freaking out.
It's just a very toxic situation. I mean, she was right to say, like, quitting your job or not taking your job and just doing YouTube full-time is going to be bad for your weight loss, because you're just going to be home all the time. You don't have to go outside and stuff. So I have to agree with that point, but I do not agree with hitting each other or for her hitting her over the head with the cupcake thing. That's a step too far.
It was really rough. We ended up not going to training that day, which was it was awful. I don't, you know, like, that was the first time I ever had a panic attack, and after that, that's when I started like kind of experiencing anxiety. Before that, I had some anxiety here and there, and I don't really get triggered when, like, I don't know, there was fights going on around, like physical fights. It was never like people arguing. Like, I kind of got my anxiety going a little bit, but that's the only time I ever had anxiety, is when people were physically fighting, like at school and stuff. If someone got a physical fight, I don't know, I had to walk away or I was gonna start freaking out. I had, like I said, my first panic attack, PTSD flashback. I'm not gonna get into my PTSD about all that right now, because that would take too long, and I'll save it for another time. I promise I'll explain that to y'all. But that, like I said, first anxiety attack, and it was scary. I just remember seeing everything happen and then being on the floor and just screaming, and then I kind of black out. But they said I wouldn't let either of them get near me. I was like under the kitchen table just screaming, and I wasn't letting anyone touch me. I don't know. And when I kind of came to, I was so tired, and like I said, we couldn't go to work that day. So that's when we decided to get an apartment, just for the sake of everyone being under the same roof. We get out of training and we start working 5 to 3:30 in the morning. Oh my god, that was awful. 5 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. That was awful. Amberlynn also started having a lot of anxiety at this point too. I mean, it is what it is. And then right when we moved into our apartment, that was when all the drama with her ex and the situation that they had started. And I know that she quit filming for a little while there too. And I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. I don't know. You know, like, I just know what she has told everybody else. So I mean, I don't know. And the person, her ex, the evidence video that they posted, I didn't know that she was messaging them. Plain and simple. I did not know that until she posted that video. So
yeah, there's always a lot of sketchy stuff when it comes to these relationships. People maybe chatting when they shouldn't be, when they've broken up and they're in new relationships. They're doing a lot of just kind of strange things.
I don't know. Amberlynn started becoming really popular at work. Like, she just was, everyone talked to her. Like, we would all spend way too much time in the bathroom talking because you can't talk sitting in the rooms where we were working. And a lot of times we just goof off in the bathroom, everyone would be talking in there, and everyone just started to get really popular. Then we get into October, Amberlynn starts talking about buying a new car. I liked my car at the time. I didn't really see a reason to get a new one, but we had talked about it because, you know, it was a little car. It would have been nice to have a bigger car. And a lot of the issues, this is going to sound really bad, a lot of the issues I had with the car was driving Amberlynn everywhere. She was bigger, that car was so small, and just, I don't know, when my stepdad looked over my car, you know, he said one of the shock on the side that she sat on was so worn down and I needed a new one, and the one on my side was fine. So he said clearly it's the weight shifting in the car, and I had to get new tires, which tires were her fault. I needed new tires anyway, like all 4 of them were done. So I got new tires, got a shock fix, and there was a crack in my radiator. I literally went to AutoZone, like, it was a 2000 Honda Civic. Went to AutoZone, got a new radiator for like $50, and my stepdad put it in for me.
It's just worth noting here that Amberlynn doesn't drive, so she always requires somebody to drive her around. And one of the things with a lot of her partners is they say that they have had to be kind of caretakers for her. They've had to take her everywhere. They've had to look after her, help her bathe, all of this stuff. Like, basically be at her beck and call just to do whatever she wants. And one of those things involved is driving her around. Now, personally, I do drive. I don't have my license. I have my provisional whatever. I failed my test like twice. Actually, let me complain about this for a second. The first time I failed my test, they said I didn't observe enough. Okay. No, wait. No, sorry. Actually, it was ridiculous. They said I observed too much the first time I failed my test. Absolutely stupid reason to fail somebody. Next time I failed my test, they said you're not observing enough. So I'm just, what? I feel like Goldilocks here. I drive fine. Leave me alone. Give me my license. But yeah, I live in Europe, so like you don't need a car to get around. But obviously in a lot of places in the States you do. Like you can't even get to the shops, which is something I only learned like last year or something, that you can't get to the shops without a car in a lot of places in the States. Like you're just stuck if you don't have one, which really shocked me. So needing somebody to drive you around everywhere could be quite a big undertaking for somebody.
Also around this time, we actually, like I said, she becomes popular at work. We go to the truck stop to eat after work, and it's a bunch of people, but Dana is one of those people, because that's when we became friends, was around this time, like just friends, nothing more. We were doing, what was it? I think it was something where you wear headphones, and you say something, you try to get the person to say what you're saying, something like that. I don't remember. It was something about, I think lips are red, something, I don't remember what it was exactly, but I say that to Dana, and Amberlynn gets offended. She goes off right there in front of everybody, does not care. And it was really embarrassing, and I was like, why are you doing this right now? You know, like, I was not trying, why would I try to do that way in front of you? Why would I try to do that way at all? Like, I wasn't meaning anything by it. I just had Googled some of the stuff to say, and I was saying on the list. I wasn't specifically saying something to her, and it's a big thing, and it was that, so. The 20-piece McNugget thing, she came back in the video and said that she had not eaten, or I came back and said she didn't eat a 20-piece nugget. She had me say that. She did eat a 20-piece nugget. She really did. I don't know why she had me say that.
This was a whole thing. I'm not going to get into the full story. Basically, there was a whole thing with this 20-piece McNuggets, right? Chicken nuggets from McDonald's, 20 pieces. It's a lot, especially for somebody who's trying to lose weight, right? But she claimed she didn't eat them, and then she made Destiny say that she didn't eat them, even though everybody thought that she did eat them, and according to Destiny, she did. So it's just like a lot of weird lying all the time.
This is also around the time she starts to talk about wanting to quit the job because she wants to pursue more YouTube. And they were also like, we started out in this one building for work, and they were building us a new building, like redoing the inside of one for us to be at, and it was bigger and nicer. And it was getting close to being time to move to the new building, and I don't know, she was really nervous about the new building for some reason, and I was really tired of her complaining about everything with the job, and she was trying to call out a lot. And then this is also around the time things started getting really tense for us. I know at this point, I know I said I was secretly talking to my ex. I was not talking to her at this point. I talked to her here and there. I did not talk to her like the whole time we were together, just when things would get really bad between me and Amberlynn. Amberlynn got super emotional about comments and hate on her YouTube, and I told her not to read it if it was gonna bother her or like get to her. She kept turning the comments off on her videos, and I said, I know it's better said than done to not read it and not let it get to you, but if you want this to be your career, you need to find a way to get over it, basically. I didn't become good friends with Dana, like actually like texting or talking to her till November, and I want to say like we would text a couple times here and there, and then she kind of just quit talking to me, quit responding to me. But I know towards the end of November, she showed me a laundromat, and I went there with her and her mom and her best friend just to see what that laundromat was like. But it was like right after that is when we quit talking, really. She like ignored me, told me everyone broke up, literally. Which I wasn't like blowing her phone up or anything, but I just thought it was weird that she just quit having contact with me. But she did have a boyfriend, so maybe that was it. I don't know. We had gotten to a big fight at some point, and I don't know what we were arguing about, but then I think either my mom or my mammy called me about going over there because my mammy was one of my moms, and she was like, hey, we're gonna cook, you guys should come over. And I was like, heck yeah, you know, like I was ready to go. I had some my mom in a while, I was ready to go over there and eat some good dinner and what have you. Well, Amberlynn didn't want to go, and I said, that's fine, you don't have to go, because I mean, like I said, all the drama from before with her and my mom, they were just tense. But she didn't want me to go. And I was like, okay, well, it's been a little while since I've been over there, just, you know, I'm gonna go over there. And she was just like throwing a big, just fit. I don't know how else to describe it. She was crying, and I know it was a code red Mountain Dew in my hand. She will swear to you that this didn't happen. I've talked to her about it before. She swears it didn't happen. So I don't know why she thinks that, but why would I make this up? I was trying to walk out of the house.
It's called
gaslighting. I had this code red Mountain Dew in my hand, and I'm just like, I'm just gonna go. So, because we were already arguing, I was like, I don't want to be around anyway right now. Like, we were arguing, I want to go see my mom. she starts screaming at me from the sliding glass doorway, saying that she's gonna harm herself if I leave, and I don't know, just all this stuff, you know, just going nuts. And then I was like, no, you won't, you know. I said, that's not something to play around with. Just let me go see my mom. And she starts like coming at me, you know, like ooh, ooh, ooh. So I get in my car, I leave the can on my top of my car, and I close the door open and I lock the door, and she's like telling me to get out, all this stuff, and she ends up throwing the can in my car, made me mad. And I want to say I ended up not going. I don't think I did. I'm like 98% sure I did not go to my mom's. I ended up just going back inside and dealing with her. And then
So like threatening harm, you know, of oneself, and then also like getting up in her face and also throwing a can at her head, like getting physical. It's just a lot of stuff. It's very toxic, and Amberlynn seems to have some anger issues. It's going to come up again in future relationships, and she can do things like that, and she can get physical, all allegedly, obviously, but there's just some serious issues with her behavior.
I don't know if that's the fight that might have caused it, but right after that we also got into an argument, and that's when she let me open a present, and it turned into opening all those presents. Now we're going into December, which is
Christmas that you talked about.
Things at this point really are starting to get super rocky with us. She starts Vlogmas, and I gave her her gifts way before Christmas. I also started planning her, she thought it was going to be a Friendsmas. So just like a friends Christmas, getting together, Christmas party. But really, I was planning a surprise party for her. And we were arguing so bad about something. She was trying to say that I was getting secretive, that I was keeping stuff from her and all this. And we were arguing, and I was like, fine, you wanna know what I'm being secretive about? I was planning you a surprise birthday party, and now you know about it. I was gonna do it when we have the Friendsmas thing, and you weren't gonna know. And she was like, oh my god, this thing, you know. And I was just like, well, you're not gonna be surprised now. And she said, don't cancel it, you know, we'll still do it, I'll act surprised. And she chose the party and what have you.
Okay. Thank you, I do not need this full outro. Thank you very much. So there's where we are with that. So as you can see, things weren't as peachy as they may have seemed sort of under the surface. It was kind of very toxic. There was a lot of things that came out in that relationship which really show you a lot about Amberlynn and who she is, her issues. I don't want to, you know, keep repeating the same things, but she seems to be somebody who's only cares about herself. She can be very aggressive. She can be very impulsive. She can kind of hurt the people around her and not really care because it's all about what she wants. But that there was the end, pretty much, of the short version, the very short version of the Destiny era. And then we get to the Becky era, which happened, obviously, after Destiny. However, my loves, you're going to have to wait till the next episode for that one. Then we will get into the Becky era. So let me know in the comments what you think about all of this. If you do not want to comment about then whoa, let me attempt that again. Leave me a comment and let me know what you think. And if you do not want to leave me a comment about that, then leave me a comment that says clouds, because that is what was in the background of the PowerPoint. Let me know as well if you like this PowerPoint format. I was just having fun with this. I thought this would be a fun way to present the information because it was getting really difficult. And I also saw, like, I didn't watch the videos. I kind of skimmed through bits of them, but Cinnamon Toast Ken had done videos with his wife where she was presenting information about Girl World to him with PowerPoints. So I just thought that was a fun idea and half stole it, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. They didn't invent PowerPoints. But yeah, let me know what you think about all of this. Like, comment, share, follow me on social media. I'm VangelinaSkov everywhere. And have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.